Welcome back to the Filmmaker's blog. Really, I should be welcoming myself back because it has been a while since the last time I posted a video. But I'm really excited to create more content for you guys. But before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. During the time I'm recording this, we have hit 1,000 subscribers. I know. I beat YouTube. Well, what can I say? But to be honest, the road to 1,000 has been a very long road with many months where I stopped making content and I lost the momentum to create. Let's just say I won't be making a how to get 1,000 subscribers in 5 years video. But you guys continue to subscribe and continue to support me and motivate me to create. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Alright, let's get the beat back on, let's go! So if you're not subscribed, consider joining the filmmaking family all about improving storytelling and cinematography. You know the drill, subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get into this video. How to light a scene with one light. Just one. Now there's a lot of YouTube videos on this topic online, but what makes this one different? Well, this isn't a 8 setups with one light type of video where you just move the light around left, right, top, and bottom. Those videos are great. I'm not throwing any shade to those videos, but those videos usually focus on close and medium shots. This is more of a case study, proof that you can shoot an entire sequence with only one light. We are lighting an entire area. We got wide shots, we got close-ups. We want to see what one light can really do. And just to take this one light setup even further, we're going to be looking at a night scene where the one light is truly the only source in the scene. This clip is from my 2019 short film, The Long Walk. You can take a look at it on this channel after this video. But this scene was never meant to be shot with one light. We had 2Ks, we had 1Ks. But the problem was that we were shooting in a barn and there was a lot of dry hay and straw. And we were afraid that these hot lights, because tungsten lights can get very hot, if they got any sort of contact with the dry straw, the whole place would just go up in flames. And we did not want to be responsible for a fire out in the middle of nowhere, so we elected to not use any of those hot lights, which was a problem because the only light I had left was an Aperture LS1 bicolor panel. It seemed impossible at the time, but this one light panel lit the entire scene. One of the big reasons only using one light in this sequence worked is because of the style I wanted to shoot in. I wanted a classic horror look. Hard light, lots of shadows and silhouettes, and it really worked for this predator-prey type of scene. In this scene, our character Shannon is being pursued by her first villain while she's on the run. So let's take a look at this first shot. This was a very simple but effective setup to introduce our first villain. I placed the key on screen right and far away from the scene so that the character and the background would both be illuminated. We only have one light, so it needs to act as a key light and a set light. Looking at our character's face, we do have the appearance of another source rimming our character and creating a backlight. That source is a reflective bounce, redirecting our key light back on our character. That gives us the illusion of having two sources when we only have one light. Here's the classic horror look I was talking about earlier. We have a hard source, sharp shadows. One of the main disadvantages of using a single source is that you only have one light direction. To get around this, we used some bounce lighting techniques. Notice the walls of the barn on the left and the right side. They start pitch black, but once the door is opened, they illuminate a little bit. That's actually two reflectors bouncing our single source back into the frame, one on the left side and one on the right side. I set this up because originally I felt like the frame was too dead, I guess. This bounce light helped the scene breathe a little bit and add a little more movement into a static shot. I really like how this shot turned out, especially the shadows on the floor of the barn as our villain enters the scene. Our second shot is much more simple. It's a close-up of our character Shannon hiding in the barn. We keyed from screen left, you can tell because there's a slight nose shadow falling to the right side, and we flagged off the light so it wouldn't hit her entire face. Following this shot, we have a point of view of Shannon looking at the villain standing up in the barn. You can see that we're looking through some cracks in the hay. You can see a couple of the straws entering the frame. But this is one aspect where I would have liked a second source just to illuminate the hay just a tad, because it is kind of hard to tell what you're looking at that point. But our single source was already taken, lighting our villain. The next shot starts with an over the shoulder and ends with a close-up. This shot details how movement can help make a one light lighting setup seem more dynamic. In the shot, we start focused on the crack in the hay where Shannon's last POV was taken, and then our main character turns around, faces camera, and then Shannon gets the drop on him. I know your every move. So throughout this whole sequence, you can see that the lighting starts with a hard back front soft, and then turns into a standard just side key. And that slight movement, that movement in the shadows and in the light, helps make this one light lighting setup a little more dynamic. The rest of the sequence plays out as inserts, and once we get back out of the barn, we're back to 2 lights, and so we're no longer with our one light setup. So that was the scene from The Long Walk, all shot with 1 light. If you want to see more, go ahead and check it out. It's on my channel. I'll leave a link in the description. So that wasn't really a tutorial. Remember, I said that this is more of a case study, showing that you can shoot a scene with 1 light, and don't let anybody tell you different. Am I suggesting that this is the best shot scene ever? No, I'm not. And as I look back at it, there's a couple things that I wish I would have changed. But is this good for the limitations? Yes, I believe so. And that's really the name of the game. I would have loved to have more lights, play with color temperature, and just busy up the lighting design in general, but I didn't have that luxury. But with all that being said, if you take one thing away from this video, remember that people won't know how many lights you used in your frame. They won't. So it really doesn't matter how many lights you use, but how many people connect with your story. Thanks for watching. If you want some lighting inspiration, I do have some free lighting diagrams and a free lighting ebook in the description below in the Filmmaker's Vault. Totally free. That's the truth. Nothing fancy about it. Well, nothing fancy about getting it for free. The downloads are pretty fancy, and I think you'll enjoy it. So click that subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss out on my next video, even though you already know it's every Friday.